Hello and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I would like to welcome you each into the living room this evening where I'm going to answer a lot of y'all's questions from the making your own or blending your own flu, bronchitis, and pneumonia herbal tea. Hold on a minute. Most of the time, it's just easier to make a video to answer questions and show people how to do it and what it is. Now, there was a lot of wonderful questions, and I want to answer as many of them as I can in this video. And like I said before, if you want to order anything from me, please email me. I will go into more depth because you have to be sneaky anymore. I'll go into more depth about the reason why while I'm showing you how to make the rubbed goldenrod. Now, first off, I got a lot of questions about usnea. Usnea, spelled usnea, also known as old man's beard. Do not mix it up with Spanish moss. Two totally different plants. And yeah, usnea is not Spanish moss, not whatsoever. Spanish moss is in the bromeliad family. Usnea is not a moss. It is a lichen, and it grows on trees. I've seen it on fence posts. I've seen it growing on rocks. I've seen it on all kinds of trees. Some I would have never guessed that it would be on. Now, with that being said, if you live up north, it's going to be a lot longer. It does look like a scraggly beard, but also know to do not harvest it off of YEW trees because yews are poisonous and there's a chance that it can get into the usnea. But any other tree is fairly safe game. So let me get a good example here. Now I'm working with southern usnea. There's many different kinds of usnea worldwide. Do your research. Google. Most of the time is your friend, as long as you don't listen to medical websites. But Google or search usnea that grows in my area so you know what it looks like. Now, like I said, I'm dealing with southern usnea. It usually does not get very big. There's a good look at it. It looks sometimes like something that comes out of a sci-fi movie. See that one? That's a little example. Now they can get a little bit bigger. Now, see, here's the bark where it was attached to the branch. You're going to want to take that off. Just snap it off. Now sometimes it can be tough to get off, but there's a good example of what usnea looks like around my area. It can have the little bitty, look like flying saucer, little round things on it. Let me get a better example. Now here is a bigger piece of usnea. That is what you kind of, well, for me, I go, oh my God, look what I found. Look at this big usnea. Yeah, this is kind of a rarity. They're going to be this size or smaller. Even the small stuff, harvest it. All of it. Not, if you can help it, don't pick it off the tree. Windstorms, These hurricanes are going to keep blowing them out of the trees, downed trees. This is what usnea can look like. It can have the little round things on it, or it can just be kind of, hold on, fuzzy, ferny looking kind of way. That's a big piece. A lot of times that's the big pieces of usnea. Now, it does grow worldwide. You just have to know what you're looking for, be persistent, because it's out there, y'all. And yes, it does grow in the city. Yes, I speak from experience. It does grow in the city. But most of the times it's around like lakes, ponds, rivers, bodies of water. It does like moisture. And it's also a sign of around that area is clean air. That's always a bonus there. Now, people have asked, how did I get it so small? I cut it with scissors. I'm fixing to show you what I done. I gotta get my wrist brace on because, yeah, I know it's gonna hurt. So hold on a bit. Alright, this is a nice batch of usnea I was blessed to harvest from the last storm that rolled through, and I haven't got to go out and look for any since this storm blew through because, well, it's still raining. It's going to finally let up, and I'm going to get to go out and look for it here soon. It comes down during any windstorm. Rain can knock it out of the trees, or it can just fall out of the trees because it wants to. It all depends on how the usnea wants to do it and what the tree wants to do. You want to make sure that you clean off all bark where it was attached to the tree, because you don't know, you might have an allergy to it. Alright, you're going to take a small bowl, not too awful small because you want room for it to fall into. And you're just going to take some good sharp scissors and just go through and just cut it up. A lot of times herbalism is not hard at all, but you got to be willing to work for the medicine. And you just keep snipping. Now this is dry. Make sure it's good and dry. Oops. Uh-oh. And see, it can be sneaky. There is a piece in there that's not supposed to be in there. And you just snip, 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 snip until you get it the size you want. Oh. Now if you're making tincture, you don't have to snip it. If you're putting it up for just making tea from usnea, you don't have to snip it. Now if you're using a tea ball or an infuser or tea bags, well, if it's a bigger infuser, you don't have to snip it that much. But if you're putting it in tea bags and or tea balls, you're going to want to snip it. And you just keep snipping. And you can see that little bit of work made some real nice pieces of usnea. And if you move it, you're going to get some fine dust pieces. Uh-oh, get off my brace. You're going to get some fine little pieces. Do not waste the little fine, what I call usnea dust. Use it as well. Okay, like I said, this is what usnea, USNEA, looks like. This here is not usnea. It's another lichen that grows on the tree. When you find this, there's a good chance you're going to find usnea. And as you can see, it also attaches to the tree bark. But this you can't use. It's not usnea. This is usnea. It's easier to find in late fall. You can find it year round. So it likes to hide when there's grass growing, but when fall hits and the leaves start falling along with the usnea, this sticks out like a sore thumb on the brown leaves. It also, you can find it during the winter. You can find it year round. I search for it year round without hesitation because I stockpile it to make tincture. I stockpile it to make tea. I stockpile it to make different mixes. And also, now that I'm starting to make salve, I stockpile it for salve making. Now, this needs to be gone through. I need to get all of this out, save the usnea, and get the tree bark off of it. So, hopefully that answers your question about usnea, or old man's beard. Now, in the northwest coast, it gets really long. And the usnea in the northwest coast of America looks like Spanish moss. But I don't think Spanish moss grows there. So that's a good uh, thing to know. Alright, we're done with the usnea. Hold on a minute. Okay, now going into talking about the rubbed goldenrod. It's the same principle as if you're making what they call rubbed sage. I like it because it makes it light and fluffy and so on. It doesn't really change it any. It just makes it in smaller pieces lighter and fluffy. Now, I said colander. Colanders come in many different forms. The rubber ones, the silicone ones, is not going to work. I don't like the plastic ones either. I like metal. Now, here's a larger one. This one will work. It's just going to make the rubbed goldenrod even smaller, and it takes longer to rub it through. But I usually go through this, the final stage. It depends on how my hand is holding up. Now, this big, beautiful contraption here is a gift Junior got me back before he started getting sick. This is a giant double steamer. Now, it is also a colander. It has a wonderful catch pan underneath it. This is what I mainly do my rubbed goldenrod in. I'm just now doing a video about rubbed goldenrod. I just never said anything about it. Didn't think about it. Now, I prefer to use a fresher goldenrod. You can use your already dried goldenrod. Hold on, I'm gonna have to adjust this. It's too dark. Now, y'all can see a little bit better. Sorry about that. I prefer to use fresh harvested and dried goldenrod that I've took the time to make sure that there's no big stems in it. And I use just the leaves and the flowers and flower buds. Sometimes you can't do it, but that's how I like to do it because one, it's easier on your hand. Two, it rubs better. Now, see, I have some that I vacuum sealed here. This has big stems in it, so I'm going to have to go through it. And I'll tell you now, the big stems will hurt when you're trying to rub it. Hopefully most of the big stems will not go through. All you do is take your hand and rub it. And believe me, you'll feel it once it starts, those stems start hitting your hand. This batch I had labeled to make oil with because of the stem. And yep, there's a lot of stems in the finished product, which I try to honestly avoid. Because especially if I'm making tea bags, you want to try to keep as many stems out as possible because it can bust your tea bags. So, I'll go through, pick these. Now, since it looks less conspicuous that I'm talking, I was setting up, this was several years ago, I was setting up a website to sell my products on. Then come along the illustrious FDA. You know how the FDA loves us and wants to, take care of us. They passed a bill that pretty much hurt most small herbalists who, grow or wild harvest herbs and make teas and salves and tinctures and so on and so on. That, yeah, it's fairly illegal unless I pay to have every bit that I make tested by a proven FDA approved lab. So now, tinctures and half a gallon would cost me $500 per half a gallon to have tested by a big pharma laboratory. Yeah, there's the catch. Big pharma laboratory to see how pure the tincture is. No matter how well you know what you're doing. Yeah. And if they say that it's not what it is, you automatically have to pay a fine. Now, this passed law. We were protesting it. We were signing to not have it happen, but you know how FDA and the big pharma lobbies get their way. Well, I instantly had to kill my website, which I was starting on Ko-fi. So now, if I sell anything, I do it by word of mouth, underground, at craft fairs that I know the people, not just anywhere. Because, yeah, they could, if they wanted to, take my things away or force me to pay for testing. And well, for those who've been around me long enough know that I don't trust the government, no matter who's running it, as far as I could throw them. So that's why I do not have a website, and that's why if you want to order something from me, please email me. Now, a lot of people are asking, how do I store my herbs? Most of the time, it's in glass. I try to get 1-gallon pickle jars with good tight fitting lids. This one is vacuum sealed. You can tell that it's sealed. Oh, let me try a different hand. You can tell that it's vacuum sealed when you can hold the lid up and it doesn't fall apart. And that's another thing. When you open a vacuum sealed lid, be very careful. It likes to spit out. Now this I pretty much hand crushed already, but I wanted to show y'all how to rub the goldenrod. If I'd had time, I would have dehydrated some to show you, which I'll do another video on. Take y'all through the steps. And that is simply how you make rubbed goldenrod and rubbed sage. And you can see all the stems, little stems. This batch had more stems in it than I wanted, but it's mostly the stems that the flowers were on. But yeah, that's why I do not have a website. Does it make me a bad person? Oh no, because it's not my government's business what I'm doing. Government has gotten too big. And people are kind of starting to realize this. It's a little late. But yeah, when you make the rub sage, rub goldenrod, I'll just do another whole video on it to show you step by step. Might not get to show y'all the harvesting part, but I'll show you the cleaning part. And yeah, it rubs a lot better when it's just fresh out of the dehydrator after it's acclimated, which means just cools down. But yeah, it done pretty good. It'll be a whole lot fluffier when you do it right out of the dehydrator. And for some odd reason, I'm thankful for it, the goldenrod here where we're at now really does not floof white, which I find very odd because back up where I used to be, yep, you dried goldenrod dehydrator, you could guarantee that it would floof white. No, the flowers pretty much stay completely yellow. I had a few that poofed white. Does it mean it's bad? No. That goldenrod is still good. Now, if you have problems with fine like dust particles and so on, this is something I will show you if it'll show up on camera. You will see the fine particles on the side of the pan. Nothing's wrong with it. But if you have breathing problems, this might agitate you. It shouldn't, but you never know. Better to be safe than sorry. And you have asthma, it might affect you. It is goldenrod. It shouldn't. But if you know you have asthma, you might want to do uh, some kind of covering for your mouth and nose. Or some people it aggravates, some people it don't. but it's just part of being an herbalist to know your body and especially know what you're preparing. Herbalism is an amazing, amazing journey, and it's a daily learning experience. All right. Hope this answers others' questions. I was trying to remember all the questions I had. Yes, if you're interested in finding out more about other things, email me. Because, yeah, things are getting crazy and it's getting harder for a smaller herbalist to do anything. Because, yeah, they done the big money, the big charges. So that would snuff out and keep us smaller folks, fairly dead in the water. Word of mouth is a wonderful thing. But like I said, if you're interested in anything that I make, just email me. And um, I know I've got to go to the post office Monday. I'm going Monday to mail out a lot of stuff, a couple of orders, Opal's wooden box, and yep. So, like I said, if you have questions, email me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Everyone, I hope this encourages you because, yes, herbalism is work. And if you're not willing to work, then this is not the pathway for you. You can grow it yourself, you can wild harvest, but not everything's going to be just handed to you. Work's involved, studying is involved, learning is involved as long as it's not medical websites. Blood, sweat, and tears. Good memory, good notes. It's important. Keeping the old ways alive is extremely important during this day and age because they're trying their best to take it all away and they won't have a bit of trouble. Won't shed a tear or a ball of sweat or bead of sweat to keep us from being able to heal ourselves. They don't care. And y'all better start realizing that. Do your own research. Don't really expect a doctor to tell you the truth if it's okay to take an herb or not. Do your research. Do your research on herbal sites because you can find out more there than any doctor will tell you, unless you have a homeopathic doctor, which they're getting hard to find because, well, they've been being snuffed for years. Yeah, I've been watching that for many years. Yep, a lot of things going on. People don't understand. People need to wake up. Need to wake up. Keep your eyes and your ears wide open. Don't believe everything you hear. Do your research. There's a lot of people out there that guide people wrong. I've seen it. I quit commenting. I will kill a video, cut it off completely the minute I hear falsehood. Mm-mm, not doing it. Alright, I hope this encourages you to learn, to strive to heal thyself. You can do it. Learn to grow it. An herbalist should know how to grow their own medicine as well as wild forage it. Be responsible when foraging. Do not wipe an area out. Do not take a little from here, a little from there, a little from over there. Leave enough for seeding for next year to get for the patch to get bigger. Leave roots in the ground so they can spread. Responsibility is one of the main things of being an herbalist. To be responsible and know without a doubt what you're doing. Research, research, research. Study, study, study. Learn. Let it be a fire that burns within you, because this is an amazing pathway and an amazing journey. Many, many years, or like I like to say, many, many moons ago, I started. And I try to learn something new every day. And when it's good enough, I will pass it along. And if I know it's going to make a difference, I'm going to pass it along. You never know how long my channel will be up on the illustrious tube, but that's okay. I back everything up. And that's another thing. If you have a tube channel and you do anything like I do, back your videos up, because you never know how much longer we have. And for those who watch to learn, take notes. Go to my description box below every herbal video. Take screenshots. Save them. Print them out, whatever. Use, what is it? Not binders, but page sleeves to keep stuff waterproof. Yeah. Keep notes of everything, because we never know how long we have till it's snipped. And no, that's not paranoia. That's being truthful. Don't be the box looking outside. Don't look from the inside of the box out. Be the box where you see the truth all around you. And know the truth and the difference from the truth and a lie. It's not hard to do, y'all. Just pay attention. And don't just run along with everything you hear, because there's a lot of propaganda spinners out there, and they're only out to get views and make money. It's sad. But I hope you have enjoyed this video, that it encourages you to learn the old ways and be able to take care of you and your family. I look forward to seeing y'all in my next video. Continue to stock up your pantry with food that will nourish and sustain you. Medicinals that will heal you. Protection of all kinds, and yes, the bare essentials to survive on. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and may you each be blessed. I'll see y'all soon. Hoot hoot. Love y'all.